I'm going to try a Chuck Baker today. Hi, Chuck. I've been working long and hard on the Colorado Northwestern layout to try to get the curve for the steam line to work. I've shimmed it, I've put plaster down to try to make it smooth. I've exhausted everything I know, but the wheelbase of the Mikado is so long, it's a 282, that it just was never going to work. So I decided I had to have larger curve radiuses than the set track that I originally bought, because that was the only set track available. And dumb me, I assumed that it was going to work okay, but it didn't. Not with the long wheelbase of the Mikado. So this week I've been ripping up the old track. Well, I've been leaving some of it in place, but anyway, it's not going to be used. I may abandon it, have weeds growing on it or something, as a testament to my stupidity. But I am building larger curve radiuses at both ends so that I can accommodate the Mikado. And also, I've never been able to get 3 coaches. They're long and they're pretty heavy. 3 coaches behind either locomotive to go around the curves at the end. So this week, bigger curves. And that's what this video is all about. Fixing what I probably should have known, only, I looked, but I couldn't find data on exactly what to expect. So I did the best I could, and I'm learning, and perhaps as a result, you won't make the same mistakes that I've made. Anyway, one can hope. I make the mistakes, and then you learn from what I do, and you don't make them. How's that? Here we go. I installed this piece, cut it so that it's equidistant outside where my track support's going to be. This is the outside edge of the track support right here. And I've supported, it's cantilevered, but I've supported it underneath with 2x4, and it's pretty stiff. I'm really not concerned about it. I might dress it up someday with a cover that comes around here, but right now I just want to get my track set so that it runs well. I want the trains to run well before I go any further. The trolleys go around the actual sharper radius, and they negotiate that seemingly just fine. So that's where I am today. I'm going to let that glue dry, and then tomorrow I'm going to install the support for the track, which means all this track work up here is going to have to be changed. It's going to have to be shifted or shortened or something. I think I'm going to simplify it too. I don't really need 4 sidings. If I had 2 good sidings, I think I'd be in good shape. And while I'm doing that, one other thing I'd like to do I'd like to replace this with an electrofrog point. I have one. This one's okay, but the spring is kind of weak. It doesn't really hold the track over there very well. And I sort of like the way that the Pico, oh, you can't see that, but I like the way Pico turnouts snap. There's a little bit of spring pressure to hold the blade over. That's a handy thing. So I'll see you tomorrow. I cut a slot in the table so I continue the slope. Oh, this will start out at about table level and slope down over here. Wasn't too bad cutting the slot, but right here there's a brace underneath. I suppose I could have taken the brace out, but it would have been a little difficult because it's screwed in to the frame on the other side, so I would have had to pull the whole table out. I didn't feel like doing that, so I just, with a very sharp chisel and a very small little handsaw, this dude, I was able to chisel that down, and it's just the right height now to rest this track support piece on. Well, it's standing up on that thing. It rests on that and starts out at table level down here, and works out perfect. So that's where I am now. See you in a little bit. The track support is fully installed. All the way up. Some of it's glued and some of it's screwed down. So I'll let that glue set for a while and go have some lunch, and then I'll get back after it here and lay some track on it. This is the first test of the new track work. Don't really know what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to move the camera so you can better see what's going on. So far, so good, though. The troublesome curve that caused all this is right here. However, this locomotive only tests conductivity because it seemed to be able to go around all the old curves just fine. It was when it had coaches behind it that was the problem. And the other locomotive, the Mikado, the one with sound, didn't like this curve at all. Seemed pretty smooth. Now we'll bring the other locomotive up and try it. Sorry it's such a miserable mess. I'll get this all cleaned up once I know it's working. Here comes the other locomotive, hopefully with the 3 coaches in tow and the little freight wagon. Looks good so far. This hopefully is a victory lap. But today, we celebrate.